Job chapter 35. And Elihu answered and said, Do you think this to be just? Do you say, It is my right before God, that you ask, What advantage have I? How am I better off than if I had sinned? I will answer you and your friends with you. Look at the heavens and see, and behold the clouds which are higher than you. If you have sinned, what do you accomplish against him? And if your transgressions are multiplied, what do you do to him? If you are righteous, what do you give to him? Or what does he receive from your hand? Your wickedness concerns a man like yourself, and your righteousness a son of man. Because of the multiplied of oppressions people cry out. They call for help because of the arm of the mighty. But none says, Where is God my maker, who gives songs in the night, who teaches us more than the beasts of the earth, and make us wiser than the birds of the heavens? There they cry out, but he does not answer, because of the pride of evil men. Surely God does not hear an empty cry, nor does the Almighty regard it. How much less when you say that you do not see him, that the case is before him, and you are waiting for him. And now, because his anger does not punish, and he does not take much note of transgression, Job opens his mouth in empty talk. He multiplies words without knowledge. Job chapter 36. And Elihu continued and said, Bear with me a little, and I will show you. For I have yet something to say on God's behalf. I will get my knowledge from afar and ascribe righteousness to my Maker. For truly my words are not false, and who is perfect in knowledge is with you. Behold, God is mighty, and does not despise any. He is mighty in strength of understanding. He does not keep the wicked alive, but gives the afflicted their right. He does not withdraw his eyes from the righteous, but with kings on the throne he sets them forever, and they are exalted. And if they are bound in chains and caught in the cords of affliction, then he declares to them their work and their transgressions, that they are behaving arrogantly. He opens their ears to instructions and commands that they return from iniquity. If they listen and serve him, they complete their days in prosperity, and their years in pleasantness. But if you do not listen, they perish by the sword, and die without knowledge. The godless in heart cherish anger. They do not cry for help when he binds them. They die in youth, and their life ends among the cult prostitutes. He delivers the afflicted by their affliction, and opens their ears by adversity. He also lured you out of distress into a broad place where there was no cramping, and what was set on your table was full of fatness. But you are full of judgment on the wicked. Judgment and justice seize you. Beware lest wrath entice you into scoffing, and let not the greatness of the ransom turn you aside. Will you cry for help avail to keep you from distress, or all the force of your strength? Do not long for the night, when people vanish in their place. Take care, do not turn to iniquity, for this you have chosen rather than affliction. Behold, God is exalted in his power, who is a teacher like him. Who has prescribed for him his way, or who can say, You have done wrong? Remember to extol his work, which men have sung. All mankind has looked on it. Man beholds it from afar. Behold, God is great, and we know him not. The number of his years is unsearchable, for he draws up the drops of water. They distill his mist and rain, which the skies pour down, and drop on mankind abundantly. Can anyone understand the spreading of the clouds, the thunderings of his pavilion? Behold, he scatters his lightning about him, and covers the roots of the sea. For by these he judges people. He gives food in abundance. He covers his hands with the lightning, and commanded to strike the mark. Its crashing declares his presence. the cattle also declare that he rises. Job chapter 37. At this also my heart trembles and leaps out of its place. Keep listening to the thunder of his voice and the rumbling that comes from his mouth. Under the whole heaven he lets it go, and his lightning to the corners of the earth. After it his voice roars. He thunders with his majestic voice, and he does not restrain the lightnings when his voice is heard. God thunders wondrously with his voice. He does great things that we cannot comprehend. For to the snow he says, fall on the earth. Likewise to the downpour is mighty downpour. He seals up the hand of every man, that all men whom he made may know it. Then the beasts go into their lairs and remain in their dens. For its chambers comes to the whirlwind, and cold from the scattering winds. By the breath of God ice is given, and the broad waters are frozen fast. He loads the thick cloud with moisture. The clouds scatter his lightning. They turn around and around by his guidance, to accomplish all that he has commanded them on the face of the habitable world. Whether for correction, or for his land, or for love, he causes it to happen. Hear this, O Job. Stop and consider the wondrous works of God. Do you know how God lays his command upon them and causes the lightning of his clouds to shine? Do you know the balancings of the clouds, the wondrous works of him who is perfect in knowledge? You whose garments are hot when the earth is still because of the south wind. Can you, like him, spread out the skies, hard as a cast metal mirror? Teach us what we shall say to him. We cannot draw up our case because of darkness. Shall it be told him that I would speak? Did the man ever wish that he would be swallowed up? And now, no one looks on the light when it is bright in the skies, when the wind has passed and cleared them. Out of the north comes golden splendor. God is clothed with awesome majesty. The Almighty, we cannot find him. He is great in power, justice and abundant. Righteousness he will not violate. Therefore men fear him. He does not regard any who are wise in their own conceit.
And now a devotional written by Pastor John Christian Pra, titled, Good Word, Wrong Time. For truly my words are not false. One who is perfect in knowledge is with you. Job 36, verse 4. A few years ago, I was flying home on a plane back from Utah when our plane hit a lot of turbulence. If you're anything like me, turbulence gets the blood pumping and the mind rolling. I found myself clenching the armrest, trying to gain any semblance of control I could. As we continued on, and the turbulence with us, I thought it would be good to play some worship music to calm my soul and recenter my focus. I went to my worship playlist, started the music, and waited for the peace to wash over me. Except it never did. Instead, the opposite happened. As I was listening, I was getting more anxious and fearful. After another minute of my heart rate rising, I finally turned it off and realized why things seemed to be getting worse. The song I was listening to was about breaking strongholds and breaking down walls in our lives. I had listened to the song many times, but as the song came to the crescendo, the beat of the drums and the rhythm of the song continued to build up, and along with it, my pulse. Afterwards, I realized that this song was actually adding to my stress, and it gave me a good laugh. I probably would have been better off with some calm nursery rhymes. But in the end, I received an important truth from this moment. Not every good word is a timely word. I'm deeply thankful for the power of Jesus Christ to break strongholds in my life, the authority that God has to tear down prison walls, and the Holy Spirit's ability to bring breakthrough to those around me. The message of the song wasn't the issue, the moment was. Here in the book of Job, Elihu has a great intention to assist his friend in a desperate time, but the words he speaks are words for a different season. In fact, Elihu did not even correctly assess the situation that Job found himself in. And instead of leading him to life, he began to heap judgment and death on him. Have you ever found yourself listening to someone who meant well, but seemed disconnected from what was actually happening around you? Or maybe someone gave you advice that you wish they would have kept to themselves. The hard part is we have probably been that person to someone else without realizing it. Proverbs 15 verse 23 says, "Everyone enjoys a fitting reply. It is wonderful to say the right thing at the right time." Before you speak, ask the Lord, "Is this something you really desire for me to say?" Before you receive the seemingly good wisdom from another, ask the Lord, "Is this what you desire to speak to me in this season?" Seek today to give life with your words and to humble yourself before the Lord and others. Think about it. Pray about it. How can you discern whether something is wisdom from God or just well-intended advice from a friend? What does it look like to be life-giving with your words today? Ask Jesus who He would have you encourage today.